Hello, today is the Poppy Sisters Day, which is why my tea's in my Poppy Sisters mug. When I say it's the Poppy Sisters Day, it is for me. It's probably not for anybody else, but I'm excited. So, firstly, if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Deborah Carr and I write historical fiction in that name. And I also write contemporary romances as Georgina Troy, and I've written a couple of thrillers as Ella Drummond. If you haven't been here, if you have been here before and you're returning, thank you very much for coming back. But today I'm talking about the Poppy Sisters because it's one of my most exciting things is the Poppy Sisters has been chosen as one of only three books for an Aldi Special Buy. So that means that Aldi stores across the UK and in Ireland are stocking this book basically until stocks run out or for the next 6 weeks. So I think usually the paperback is sold for £8.99, I believe. But at the moment, if you're in the UK, you can buy it for £2.99 in an Aldi store, or in Ireland, you can get it for €3.99. So that's exciting. As I said, I live in Jersey, and we have lots of wonderful things here in Jersey. We don't have an Aldi store. So I won't be able to see the book in real life in the shops, which is really sad. But if you do shop at Aldi and you do see a copy, please take a photo and send it to me. You can send it to me at debs@deborahcarr.org. I think it is. Yeah, my email address. On my website anyway, you'll find my email address on my website, and I'd be really grateful. That'd be wonderful. If you do send me a photo and you want to include your address, I can send you a signed postcard of the cover and also different links on the back to my social media pages. So please, if you send me a photo, I'd love to send you one of my unique Poppy Sisters cards. So this book was actually chosen in 2023 as an Amazon's first reads, which so I was told by HarperCollins that this is the first time in a decade that one of a HarperCollins book has been chosen as an Amazon special buy, which is incredibly exciting. This was also the first time, I gather, that HarperCollins had, in the UK at least, had a historical novel chosen as an Amazon first reads, and that was in August 2023, which is incredibly exciting. So this little book set during the First World War. So it's about two sisters. This little book has done very well for itself, is what I'm trying to say. And when I wrote it, I couldn't have imagined that could ever happen. And I am enormously grateful. Because when you're a writer like me, you spend, I would say, at least 2/3 of your time either being rejected before you get published by agents, by publishers. You get the horrible reviews. You get wonderful reviews too. But there's a lot of downside and a lot of rejection. So authors tend to, they have no choice really, but to develop thick skin, because otherwise you just give up, because you can only take so much rejection and, I don't know, negativity. But I'm incredibly excited. So this lovely book has done really well for itself, and I'm really pleased. So it's about two sisters. Let me see. Phoebe is a volunteer nurse at a base hospital in Etaples in France, and she's a V.A.D, and she helps look after Allied soldiers who have been injured in the war. And her sister, she actually falls for a British soldier, whereas her sister, I'm sorry to have to check, Celia, I've written quite a few books since I've written this one, so it's like, I know the story, but I've got to remember names. So Celia is an actual nurse. She's a qualified nurse, and she is working in the hospital in Jersey, in the General Hospital in Jersey. And at the beginning of the war, they open up a prisoner of war camp. The remnants, there's not many remnants, and it's now a site of special interest here in Jersey. But in St Ouen, so down the hill from where I live, there are wonderful sand dunes. And I used to ride my ponies along the sand dunes, as we all did. Lots of people did. People walk their dogs there now. You can't ride ponies there now, which is a good thing. But And I used to wonder what these like bricks were, or, you know, like this concrete walls. There were odd blocks in different, like, odd places and strange parts of walls and things. There are still remnants now, but far, far fewer. But I used to wonder what they were from. It seemed very odd that the bottom of these sand dunes across the road from Le Bray Cafe and the beach were, I don't know, blocks of concrete. It was quite odd. And I didn't realise until about 15 years ago that was a prisoner of war camp, Les Blanches Banques here in Jersey, in the Channel Islands. And so I have Celia, who, as I said, is a qualified nurse, and she is sent to nurse prisoners of war. So whereas her sister's helping look after Allied soldiers, Celia is looking after enemy soldiers, so German soldiers, and she falls for Otto, who she's nursing. And obviously, neither should really be striking up a relationship with the man that they're nursing, but one of them, a British girl falling for an Allied soldier, is not nearly as terrible as a British nurse falling for an enemy soldier. And it's their two stories. So that's what the Poppy Sisters is about. I loved writing the book. It says on the front here, divided by war. That's the two sisters reunited by courage. Because it took a lot of courage. I'm always fascinated by people who cope through wars. I know people don't have any choice when they're stuck in a horrific situation, but I do admire how people deal with these difficult situations that they find them in. And I love writing about the emotions and the struggles and people overcoming those struggles, finding hope and joy where they can, really. And that's what this book is about. And I was very lucky because I have a couple of lovely quotes here. So one of them is from USA Today bestseller and Globe bestseller, multi-bestseller, my friend Glynis Peters. And she gave a lovely quote saying, a recommended read for historical romance readers, which is, I'm very grateful for that. And Caroline Corchi, who has recently had a couple of books out, she wrote Mrs. Van Gogh, a book I absolutely adored as well. Captivating, utterly convincing and deeply moving. Readers are in for a treat. So thank you, Caroline. So those are two of the quotes that I was very lucky to receive from other authors. So I hope if you read it, I hope you enjoy it. At the back, I always have a reader letter explaining the bits that I've had to maybe adapt because timelines won't work or whatever, or where I get my ideas from and have done my research. I always do a reader letter at the back. So that's what the Poppy Sisters is doing today, and I'm very grateful, and thank you very much, Aldi, for choosing my book as one of your special reads. I really am very, very grateful. I will be sending out my newsletter today. I didn't send it out in January. I think I said that last week in my video, because I've literally done structural edits for one book, structural edits for another book, copy edits for another book, and it's just been a bit of a whirlwind. But today in my newsletter, if you haven't subscribed already, please, you can see below in the description, there'll be a link to how you can subscribe, or you can go to my website, deborahcarr.org, and sign up to my newsletter there. There's a couple of freebies. Yes, and please do subscribe to this site below. All it means is you'll get a little light next to my name in your subscriber list, telling you when I've got a new video. And do leave a comment if you want to ask me any questions. That would be great too. So in my newsletter today, I'll be talking about the Poppy Sisters being in Aldi. I will be talking about a wonderful event on last Saturday. So this event was, we've got a place called, a wonderful, wonderful place here, the Harbour Gallery in Jersey. It's in St Helier. And it's run by Pat Robson, a wonderful lady, an ex-teacher. And there are spaces where creatives, so if you are into arts and crafts, or if you write, or if you paint, there are spaces for you. You can also buy local goodies, beautiful figurines and painted shells. I mean, so many different things. Absolutely wonderful place it is. But she also set up the Jersey Bookworm and Poets Corner. So it's an area of the Harbour Gallery where local authors' books are for sale. signed copies. I believe most of them are. Mine certainly are. And so I think, yes, there is, believe there's a Poppy Sisters, a couple of those there. And a couple of Irons at War. I think the Poppy Field and also Neighbours at War. And I also have a couple of books stocked there of the first books in each of my 4 series as Georgina Troy. So that's very exciting. And the opening was last Saturday. And amazingly, international bestseller Peter James came, because he's now a Jersey resident and a really, really lovely man. And he came and he did the opening. I'll share a photo here of me with Peter James and my blonde plotter gals, Kelly Clayton and Gwyn Bennett, both also authors. And then also, that was on Saturday. On Tuesday evening, I did a joint talk with Penny Byrne. She writes children's books, fabulous children's books. And we did a talk at the Le Hoc, which is in St Clement's, one of the parishes here, WI. So that was really good fun. Met some new people, talked about my books, told them a bit about my next book, which I'm waiting to hear what my publisher thinks about that. The book, that is, not the fact that I've told people. And I'll also be sharing my cover reveal for Love Blooms at Hollyhock Farm, the 3rd book in my Hollyhock Farm series, written as Georgina Troy. So that actually cover reveal is actually not going live until the 18th, so in 5 days. So I'll be sharing it here in 5 days. I'll be sharing it in my newsletter today. I've got to write the newsletter yet, but I'll be doing that as soon as I've done this. So that's my day today. All very exciting. So for now, I will leave you. Thank you for joining me. I will go and drink my cup of tea, which is now getting a bit cool, and eat a penguin. Those of you who've been here before know I love a penguin. So thank you for joining me. And as I said, if you go to Aldi, please, please, please take a photo for me and send it to me, because I would love to see my book in situ. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining me.